In this session we're going to be looking at how we can select fields for a query. To do this, first of all we need to know what fields are in our database. To find out, open up the table in its runtime view, then right mouse click the table, and you can actually open the database up in its design view. In this view here, we can actually see all the fields that are within this database. What I like to do at this point in time for any database that I'm getting to know, so I'd like to use the snippet tool to take a photo of the fields and the data type. This way I've got a reference sheet of all the fields that are used within a database, and I normally slide that so it's just off the screen so I can toggle between the database and also the field list when I need this. Once you've got your field list, you can then close the table design and we can go and create a query. To create a query we need to click on the create button. In here we can make all sorts of things, but we actually want to make a query using the design view. When you do this, the first thing it's going to ask you to do is select and show a table. So at this point in time there's only one table in our database, which is table stock, and we want to add this to our database. Once you've added this, you can click close. We're interested in working not in our query by example framework, which is this one. We're actually interested in working in the SQL. So to get to the SQL from here, we click on View and then select SQL. Because that table is already inserted into the query by example section, it's already got the table listed for us in the From section. And in the selection, this is where we can actually put all the fields we would like to see. So let's have a look at what fields are on offer and let's see what we want to show. So let's start with code. That's the very first one, and it's a primary key because it has a key. So we're going to put in here code. Alright, so I want to select code from table stock. Let's run this and see what we get. So these are all the codes from table stock. So let's open up table stock again. You can see all the code and all the information for the table, and we just want to see the codes, and that's what the database has extracted out for us. So let's go up to View and let's go back into our SQL. We can add some other things to this as well. Let's put in item and WSP, which is wholesale price. So first of all we want a comma, and then we can put item. The comma separates the different field names, and then we can put wholesale price. And let's run this one. Now we can see the code, the items, and the wholesale price. If we want to see the resale price as well, we can easily go back into our SQL and add recommended retail price and run our query. Now if we were doing this in a manual system, you would have to go back to the filing cabinet, pull out every record and write down what the retail price was. And the best thing about this is we can reorder these as well. So in our SQL, we can actually have the code at the end of the list. So we can remove it from here, comma, place the code on the end, because it always shows first, second, third, and fourth. So code has now gone from the first item of our list to now being the fourth item on our list. So we've got item type and you see code on the end. So when we're performing a selection, we can identify what fields we would like to see. One of the most important things about identifying fields is you need to read the universe of discourse, in other words the scenario. You need to construct the query by first of all selecting what fields need to be displayed. So if someone asks to display all items, their styles, and any comment that is made on each, we can actually easily do that. So we go back to our query list and it's got display all items. So here is item. We've already got that. There's styles. Now we don't have styles here and I'm not sure what style is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the actual database. Here we go. So the styles must be, because if this is the item, the styles must be its name. So let's go back in there and find out what name is. in this case it is name, so I can actually go back into the SQL view. It's hiding just behind there. I can put name in here. I'll just remove the following. So display all items, their styles, and any comment. Now we noticed before that the comments were actually stored in a comment field. So we can put a comma and put in comment that is made on each item. So it's going to list every item and it's showing me the style and also the comments. So that's how we can easily do a select query and display the results. The final thing we need to do is actually save this. By clicking on the little save icon, it opens up a little save dialog. It will save it in this section called queries. Whenever we save a query, we always prefix it with QRY, which is the Hungarian notation for naming things. So QRY obviously is short for query. And then we can put example, and then we can put a number like 01 and click OK. This will actually save this into our list, and if we go through our list, we should have an example down the bottom here, 01. And anytime I want to see that query, I can close this. I can head down to example 01, double click this query and it can run. I can also go back and edit this query in its SQL form. And if I want to, I can actually right mouse click it, copy and paste it and edit another version of this if I need those fields for another query at another stage. And that ends our tutorial.